Hi and welcome to the video. My name is Talia and today I'm here to have a chat with the amazing Chaidura. So hi, welcome to the interview. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
It's fine, thank you for coming along. This is my first interview, so it's very exciting that it's you. So for those who don't know you that well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get on to talking about your music?
Definitely. Hi everyone. My name is Chaidura. I can call me Chai. I am an alternative rock and metal artist, based in London. I am heavily inspired by, Japanese rock music, and in particular this genre called visual kei. It's a little bit niche, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk a little bit more about it in the interview. Heavily inspired by that genre of music, but at the same time, also very inspired by alternative rock and metal acts. And hopefully I'll be able to continue making music, and excited to be here today.
Yeah, I hope you'll continue to make music as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I think all of your fans will be very happy about that.
Yeah.
So talking about your fans and your music, I feel like if you were to ask different people about the genre of music you make, they'd all give a slightly different answer. So how would you personally define your music in terms of its genre, or can you even put a single genre to it?
Kind of like that's the age-old question.
Yeah, because I know you said you're inspired by like alternative music, Japanese rock and all of that, but is it possible to narrow it down to one thing, or is it more of like an amalgamation, would you say, of lots of things?
I would say an amalgamation. Because ever since young I've been listening to so many different types of music. I guess for categorization purposes, it will kind of just be alternative rock, and occasionally alternative metal. Maybe moving into alternative pop, I don't know, but that's how I would kind of say, like something different, something a little bit unique from the mainstream. So alternative might be a good way to put it.
Yeah, because I feel like every song you give us is different, isn't it? Every sort of song you give is a different style.
Yeah, in a way.
Obviously, a lot of artists write their music based on their own personal experiences and feelings, and I'm not going to get into those, obviously. But if you try to ingrain messages into their lyrics and their music, and maybe even with the style of music, so do you have any particular messages in your music that you think your music reflects?
Well, I guess it kind of changes from song to song, but I realize one theme that kind of flows through most of my music. It's like two things really, kind of like the same thing, but it's that of self-expression, like being able to express yourself in a way that you feel good about yourself. And the other part, which is kind of related, is self-acceptance. And I feel it kind of goes hand in hand. You need to accept yourself in order to express it, but at the same time you kind of need to express yourself in order to accept who you are. It's kind of like the journey that I went through personally, and I think that ever since I've started to express and accept who I am, like well-being improves. I'm kind of more confident. Self-esteem improves. So I think I want to share that message and that experience with people, and hopefully it inspires them to do the same.
Yeah, because it's kind of that loop, isn't it, of expression and acceptance. They kind of come hand in hand. Like you said, you can't really have one without the other. I love that you push that. I feel like a lot of your fans definitely get that message through your music. That's brilliant. So with self-expression, like you mentioned earlier, your Instagram shows that you take a lot of fashion inspiration from the visual kei subculture. So what is that to you? Because every definition I find is slightly different.
Yeah, I mean the kind of like the Google definition. It's really about androgynous outfits, very theatrical, very dramatic. It was a subgenre that came out in the 80s, I think, piloted by many legendary bands like X Japan and stuff. But it kind of became this thing where people dressed up very flamboyantly in order to express themselves. But the way that I kind of see it is that like visual kei is just very like dramatic, dramatic, theatrical way of communicating art. And I feel like there's so many different bands in the Western scene that encapsulates that as well. My Chemical Romance, Bring Me the Horizon. Like, to me, they are visual K, you know? So I feel like anything theatrical, anything dramatic. And I guess like the emo genre encapsulates that well. That's why there's so many crossovers. To me, that's visual K. So to me, it's not really specific like, oh, it's like a Japanese J-rock band is visual K, but it's that culture or that mentality.
So would you say that your influence with visual K is just the fashion, the appearance side of things, or does it go further into the whole sort of subculture?
So the funny thing is like, because I was born and raised in Singapore, which is away from the scene in Japan, and I've never really, I wouldn't really say that I'm part of the scene. Like, I've just been a very avid consumer of the music and the videos and everything. So like in terms of the culture, like it's, I don't fully understand it. I mean, I got it a little bit when, you know, trips to Japan, went to a few shows, but I would say that like the way that it's being shown in videos, in the music, I feel like those became a little bit intuitive to me. So it's very small things, right? Like how, like I find that visual K vocalists, they always sing with like vibrato, for example. Like they always like, yo, and it's very theatrical. Like case in point, like Kamijo from Versailles, right? Like he always does that sound. And you know, they always have like screams, and which blends into like the pre-chorus is always screaming and the chorus is like singing. So there's all this like intuitive elements that became intuitive for me. And like sometimes I mean I love it, but sometimes it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna make a song and it's following the same format again. I need to like snap out of it. So it became quite second nature in that sense.
So on your fashion, because I think your fashion is amazing, would you say there are any other sort of fashion styles or aesthetics that you particularly like? Because I know you mentioned emo and My Chemical Romance and stuff.
Like, so I guess the emo alternative fashion, you know, oh my god, like what are some brands like Killstar, Hot Topic, like those are like the classic few bits. Visual K, of course, like goth, these are all big fashion inspirations. But recently, I mean, for the longest time as well, I've been following, I guess, like mainstream pop culture fashion inspirations as well. So like New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week. But in particular, like I really enjoy the street fashion of Korea and Japan. So I mean K-pop, full stop. Like their fashion is amazing, and it's just different. It really depends on my mood for the day on what to kind of dress up, even for shows and stuff. So those are some inspirations behind the fashion.
That's really cool, because I feel like I went to see you back in October at the Black Heart, and every single person I saw, I thought, before we even went inside, I thought they're going to your gig. But none of them dressed remotely similar. And I just found it really cool that everyone's taken on the self-expression part of sort of like your music and the message you were talking about. I mean, it's really cool to see so many different people all in one room relating because they love your music and they love what you do. I could definitely see all of those inspirations in yourself and also all of your fans.
Oh, that's good to know. Like, I mean, we'll be talking about it, but like, on that night, like, there's so many things happening. I didn't even have the chance to like notice. So it's good to hear that from you. Okay. Must be doing well. Okay, pat on my back.
Pat on your back. And so moving on to your songs, you recently released your new single, Possess. So I think this track is a brilliant combination of high energy, you've got some heavy vocals in there, and I found the intro is almost sort of medieval sounding with sort of almost like an acoustic lute sort of sound. That was my interpretation of it. but it sounds like it shouldn't work, and it does, which is the best thing about it, sort of breaking the mainstream and the norm. So what was your sort of vision with Possess when you were creating it and coming up with the ideas?
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe I guess there's kind of like two sides to it. One is kind of like the music, and the other would be the lyrics or the concept behind it. So, for the first part, which is the music, yeah, because it was going to be part of the Temple Paradise EP, and I wanted to slow things down. Like I felt like the previous songs or all the other songs in the EP, it's like fast paced, hard hitting, heavy, and I wanted to slow things down. So that was the, I guess, the initial brief, if you may, like a slower song, a little bit more emotional, a little bit more, taking a break from the other heavy stuff. But oh my god, like this song was the hardest to write because, like, when I think slow songs, I think of like like ballads or I mean mainly ballads. So I kept writing ballads in a way. And I remember I was working with Alex and I was sending him a few demos, and it was like, oh my god, it just all sounds like Guns N' Roses, like ballads, like with the piano
November
and everything.
Rain.
Yeah, November Rain, with like 12-minute guitar solos. But like so it didn't really fit the vibe at the beginning because I didn't want it to sound too like classic rock or too old school in that sense. Like it didn't flow with the rest of the songs. And then kind of experimented a little bit, was playing around with my guitar, and that's how the riff kind of came out. And I was like, oh, okay, this could be cool. And at that point in time, I was listening to a lot of Polyphia as well. It's kind of like an instrumental band. That's
orchestral sort of,
Yeah, and they recently do a lot of like classical guitar stuff. So that kind of pieced everything together. And at the same point of time, listening to a lot of K-pop, a lot of pop. That's why you have kind of like a bit of pop elements in it. It was kind of like a journey to create that the music for Possess, but I think it kind of ended up pretty well. So that's kind of like for the music bit. And for lyrics, it was pretty easy because it was just continuing the story that I've already written out for Temple Paradise. I mean, the story is about on the surface value, is getting possessed by a spirit that as part of Temple Paradise, there's a spirit deity. But from a concept standpoint, it's really about, this is where you bring in the self-acceptance. It's more, the spirit is more like a metaphor for who you really are, and it enables you to bring that part of yourself out. So that's kind of what the song is about. Lyrically.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really insightful because I knew about the sort of storyline and stuff. So it's cool to see how it's progressing further with different releases. So you're talking about concepts a lot. Were there any albums in particular or musicians that inspired you when you decided you were going to sort of create an entire story and a concept surrounding Temple Paradise? Is there anything in particular you sort of thought, I'll do it like that?
Yeah. So Next Gen by Bring the Horizon, like the latest album that came out.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, amazing. It's like, oh my god, I love it so much. I'm trying not to listen to it because I would just be replicating everything they make. It's like it's bad that it's so good. But I think that was kind of one of the main inspirations at the beginning. I knew that, through interviews with Ollie and everything, like he was making the songs, they are linked together. I kind of enjoyed that idea. And but it's actually more of like video games and movies that inspired the whole idea of having a concept album.
Oh, that's cool.
Because at the gig you did back in October, I'm just going to bring them up briefly. You had two support acts. You had Tally Spear and you also had Dakara. And I noticed, because I've been listening to them a lot more now thanks to your gig, So you've helped me discover a lot more new music recently.
Nice.
Listening to them, they're very inspired by like video games and stuff as well. So yeah, sorry, it just sparked a sort of a little memory there.
It's like, it's so weird, like somehow everyone's connected, and I don't know, you can just feel it in the music itself. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, that's one beautiful thing about art in general. But
it just brings people together.
exactly. But yeah, like movies and video games, like, because I really enjoy playing video games, especially if it's narrative driven. So Last of Us, God of War, Death Stranding, like everything that's very story based, and I enjoy those games. Movies as well, especially horror movies. Like horror movies was actually the main inspiration behind Temple Paradise, particularly Midsummer by Ari Aster. Like that's kind of like the main inspiration behind it. And I always thought that, in terms of storytelling, like one song is really too short to tell a full story. And that's where the idea of like, why not just combine different songs, and perhaps that would make lyric writing easier as well. So yeah, that was kind of what inspired the whole concept. I mean, even the storyline is kind of like lifted a little bit from Midsummer, Next Gen, Hereditary, like all these different sources. But yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
That's cool. So you had lots of different inspirations then.
Yeah, in a way, all over the place.
Yeah, so we've already mentioned Temple Paradise. That's your EP, complete concept, and I saw the Midsummer inspiration, especially in the music video. What was it sort of like filming? Because you filmed in a church, didn't you?
Yeah, still amazed. Like,
what was that like?
I mean, firstly, I was like even amazed that the church allowed us to do it. But they drew the line at having blood in the church. So like, I wanted to be like blood everywhere. But
proper horror film.
Proper horror film, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, like the process of filming like is an enjoyable process as well. Like, finding the church was a stroke of luck. Managed to find it online, and they were willing to have us. But I was also more amazed by working with the different folks who were in the video. So I kind of call them like the raves. And they're basically friends from the visual kei scene, from the goth alternative scene, and even like the club scene, I guess. And they were more than happy to kind of help out. And it's so weird, like everyone looks so good, and I guess that was kind of like why I selected them. Like, I know they were visually they had like a natural talent for visuals and stuff. So I think they played like they were a huge reason why the video kind of worked. And I would say like, of course there was more that I would have wanted to do. Like, I wanted to make it if I could, like make it like a 10-minute short film if I could, but budget and with limited budgets and everything, we kind of made do. So kind of proud of how it turned out, and it's definitely it's like the biggest video that I've ever made. And hopefully you get a chance to work with them and do something like that again. Yeah,
I mean, coming from a media student point of view, as much as I'm journalism, I did do media, which covered everything, and I thought the cinematography and the visuals and all of it was amazing, and the concept really did come through as well.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like that video has just got everything. It's just got everything going for it.
Oh, thank you so much.
So talking about the EP, I know I've mentioned it already, but for the launch you did an amazing live show at the Black Heart in Camden back in October. I keep calling it a gig or a live show, but I feel like it was more of a full immersive experience, not just a live show. So how did you feel when you were headlining at the Black Heart? Because it looked like you were having a lot of fun performing and headlining.
It's kind of cool. Like, I'm also curious to know what you think, right? Because like, I was actually so anxious that day. Like, was very anxious, but it's not really from like anxious to perform or stage fright or any of that sort of anxiety. but because I was organizing the show, I was in charge of timings and everything. Like basically self.
Yeah.
It's
All
a
of
show.
it.
Yeah, a show that I ran myself. So ticket sales and everything was part of it. So
Oh.
I think I was more worried about the operational side of things, or like the management side of things. Like
Yeah.
performing was fun. Like that was the only time that I'm like, oh yes, I can have fun now.
Let go now, breathe.
Yeah, but before that and after that, I think that was like the crucial time periods, because there were so many things like things not working, and at the final, like 5 minutes before my set came, like we were supposed to have more effects and everything, but we weren't able to do it because things went out of hand. So I think that was like a huge learning point for me, right? Like I definitely need some help to manage that side of things so I can focus on performing. And that's why I felt a little bit, I'm not bad, but because I know that everyone enjoyed it regardless, but I thought that I could have provided an even better experience or even better show. But it was still good, I guess. Like all this is kind of like in my head.
I suppose it's part of the process, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of learn from these experiences.
Learn on the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So all in all, like it was still a good experience. Like I was very I mean, it was basically a sold out show, and which was like a very big deal for me, because Blackheart, when I came to London, it was one of the venues that I wanted to play. Never expected that I'll be able to do it. So it's kind of like a good milestone. At the same time, it's good to see everyone like that I've kind of met and form a connection with since the first day until like that time period. And everyone's so supportive. So just overall very grateful and thankful for everyone, including you.
Yeah, I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it was an amazing show.
Thank you.
It was brilliant. So I know you said about how the one part you weren't really sort of nervous for was the actual performing. So what is your favourite part of performing live?
I think my favorite part is kind of like two sides of it, and that's also, I mean, if you're interested, like that's kind of how I segment my show as well. So the first half is always more theatrical, so that's when I get into character, put on an act, basically make it a bit more dramatic. I enjoy that part, really like losing yourself, being someone different, and like in a way, like the whole possession thing, it works that's what's happening in a way. Like I'm embracing that part of me that's a bit more theatrical, angsty, more dynamic. So I really enjoy getting into character for that bit. But then there's always the second half of the show, which is like, oh, Goofy Chai is here. So like all the jokes will come out. I'll be making fun, having fun, audience interaction. So I enjoy that part of it as well, because I like telling jokes. I like I was goofing around, dancing in a very goofy way. Like, so that's all part of it. Like the audience interaction, I guess. So both sides.
So with your live performing, I've been doing a little bit of research because I watched a show recently where I saw some bands having their own sort of rituals that they do and their own little things they go off and do before they come on stage. So for example, Rob Halford from Judas Priest says that he has a cup of tea and he plays Nintendo before going on stage.
Awesome.
Which has changed because I remember reading that he used to do shots before going on. And Foo Fighters apparently do shots of Jägermeister and listen to Michael Jackson.
Okay.
So everyone has quite different ones. Do you have any sort of rituals or little things that you go and do before you go on stage and perform?
I mean, for now, because I guess like space is limited, so I just meditate, like for like 5-10 minutes, catch my breath, bring my heart rate down a little bit, and get ready to go on a show. But I mean, for the past few shows, because it's been so hectic, like I didn't even have the chance to do it. It was more like I was talking to someone and like, oh, okay, time to perform. But in an ideal scenario, would be kind of like meditate.
Yeah.
And if I could, I would love to also like stretch, do some yoga before going on stage.
Really get in the zone.
Yeah, get in the zone. So
Yeah.
you know, that will probably be the ritual that I foresee happening. Yeah, maybe would love to play games, hang out with the band and stuff. But yeah, I think probably like getting in the zone would be my ritual.
Because I suppose at the moment, like you were saying, you were organising everything yourself. So it's sort of finding that chance to have some time to go off and meditate and do things like that. So hopefully in the future, you'll definitely be able to leave the organisation with somebody else so you can have your sort of moments to yourself before you go on stage.
Hopefully, yeah. That'd be the goal.
Definitely helps.
So with your shows, do you have a favourite song of yours that you like to perform live?
Night Forever.
I did that. That was really enjoyable to watch, to be fair.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your favourite song of yours overall, or do you have a different one?
So until today, I think Night Forever is still my favorite song. I mean, the Spotify plays tend to differ, but like personally, I do enjoy. Like I don't know, just I think at a point when I was making Night Forever, like was really into music, really enjoyed it, worked very well with my producer. So it has many memories, like it holds many memories for me. So I enjoy it a lot. And also from a performance standpoint, like, it's the best song to interact with audience with, right? Like jumping, dancing, like it's very easy to follow. So I just really love how enabling like that song is in its own way. Yeah. So yeah, for now it's Night Forever, and it's easy to sing, so I don't kill myself. Yeah.
That is a plus. So because I've seen on your Instagram you've posted some covers of other musicians' songs. Do you have any songs that aren't your songs that you like to perform live, even if it's just like karaoke, or because I've seen the covers on your Instagram of other bands' songs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like kind of the usual suspects would be all the VK hits, right? Gazette, anything from Gazette, anything from Day and Grey. I'll try my best because it's so hard to sing. But anything from Gazette, definitely. But more recently, anything K-pop, like I would love to give a shot as well. Anything from Stray Kids, anything from 80s, would love to try it. But then again, anything Michael Jackson as well. Yeah.
Big mix then, definitely a big mix.
Big mix.
So you mentioned K-pop.
A bit off topic, it's not planned this at all, but what's your favourite K-pop group or singer? Do you have one?
Oh my god, yeah, it's so hard to choose. Like, I would say like my top 3 for now are Stray Kids, 80s, and P1 Harmony.
Nice.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like their music, like I mean, maybe it's like a controversial statement, but I feel like K-pop bands are like the new rock bands. they're rock stars, like in their own way.
They bring the energy, they bring the outfits and the whole stage show. It's a whole performance. Yeah.
It's like visual K on steroids. Like that's how I kind of see it. Yeah.
That's a brilliant way to describe it.
Yeah.
Backtracking a little bit onto live shows again. You've got an upcoming event at the Imaginarium Gallery in London soon called Solstice. So you're not just performing, but I've read that there's also going to be themed rooms based off of sort of your journey and interactive things for fans to take part in. So can you tell us what we can expect at the event if we were to go along?
Yeah. This event, a couple of things happening, and it's all possible because the organizer has kindly offered to let me use the place to have everyone. So big shout out to them. So as mentioned, there will be a couple of things happening that night. So the Imaginarium Gallery, they basically have 4 different rooms along with one main room.
Yeah.
And in each room there'll be a separate theme or a separate exhibition, if you like. it kind of explain a different part of my journey so far. I mean, it's hard not to be like narcissistic about it. Like I keep trying to think of ways to showcase it better, but it's really to tell the story of where where's Chaidura from, and what's the thought process between the different journey points in a way. So there'll be exhibition. I mean, it's mainly visual, so it's like there'll be a projector and it will showcase different visuals from that time period. There'll be an acoustic performance as well. Like I wanted to keep it a little bit more chill, and also because they don't allow a drum set over there. So
Right.
but also like Christmas vibe and everything. So a little bit more
sort of more chilled out, relaxed.
relax, and hopefully fans will be able to discern whether I can actually sing, because now it's just me and a guitar, so we'll be at the mercy of everyone. So that will be happening, and after the performance there'll be we will play some games. Like some of the other fans will be organizing some Chaidura themed games. Oh my god, it's hard not to sound so narcissistic, but it's like what other common topic would everyone have, right? If not Chaidura, like so Chaidura themed games we will have. I have a couple of interesting announcements to make. So these people and folks that will be going will be the first to know of these announcements, and that is kind of like a fun activity. Like I don't really want to spoil it, but basically it gives everyone the chance to be on the next Chaidura song as well, in a very interesting way.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to do that as well. And after that we have karaoke, we have social, just getting to know each other, just hanging out, and of course I'll be there. So should be a fun night.
That does sound really fun. So I know you sort of already teased a couple announcements already, but other than Solstice, is there anything coming up that we don't know about that you can sort of tease, give us a tiny bit of information on? You don't have to spoil anything, but anything in particular you can kind of hint towards?
I think, a very tangible thing would be coming out right after Solstice. I mean, I'll be making the announcement during Solstice, and sharing the announcement to the wider folks after that. But essentially it'd be a way for me to connect better with fans, and really to bring fans as part of to bring fans into my process as well. So this system will be kicking off, so I'm very excited for that. And also just like in general, like I've kind of spent the last few weeks after the show at the Black Heart, to kind of, I've been thinking about where I want to take Chaidura next in 2025. So the plan is almost like 80% complete. I hope to have like kind of like a first draft that I can share with everyone in the event as well. So looking forward to have that. I mean, there will be a couple of more shows in 2025 for sure, but I'm more excited about this new era of Chaidura in a way, and hopefully it will be something that people will appreciate. So we'll leave it at that.
Sounds interesting. It sounds exciting. And now you've got me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, amazing.
So I can't wait to go along in December and find out.
Awesome.
To sort of wrap things up and end things, I thought we could just do a little casual quick fire question round. A lot less, detailed and in depth. So I'm just going to kick off with, if you can narrow it down, do you have a single favourite band?
The Gazette.
Cool. What is your current favourite song, or songs if you can't choose one?
For music, I always live in the moment. But I guess like the current favorite song would be Ice on My Teeth, 80s. I think it just came out. Yeah. Oh, the song is so cool. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to that because I don't actually know that one.
Oh yeah, I think it just came out. It's like so cool, and it's like K-pop, but it has goth in it. Like it's gothic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I
a
like
bit
it.
darker, a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Okay, so what is your favourite venue that you've ever performed at?
Oh my god. I mean, the Black Heart, I guess, like just because of the the experience.
Are there any other sort of venues that you'd love to play at that you haven't yet?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the alternative kit, like the rite of passage, right? Black Heart, Underworld, Electric Ballroom, in that order, I guess. And hopefully we get into bigger venues. But at the same time, like next year, if possible, I would love to perform in different places in the UK, to reach out to different people. So more places, I guess. Like the Midlands, and the North as well.
That sounds cool because I've been to the Underworld for a different gig and it is amazing. It looks like an amazing one to play at. So hopefully that's on the cards for you. And so our last little quickfire question is, what's your favourite or the best concert that you've ever been to as like a fan?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean the concert that comes to mind would be Bring Me the Horizon, the recent Next Gen arena tour. Just like the amount of special effects, the storytelling, the jokes that they kept making. Like until today, like, I still laugh at the joke at the beginning, where it's like, drugs are not allowed on the premises. So if you have them, please take them before the show. You know, like there's so many jokes like that. That I enjoyed. So yeah, just the overall experience, and of course, like big fan of Bring Me the Horizon music and everything. So yeah, I would say Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous of that.
Yeah. Before we go, I have one more question for you. Is there anything you would like to say to your fans, anyone who's watching?
Yeah, just overall, thank you for everything this year. Like, I think, with Temple Paradise, with the support behind Temple Paradise, all the different shows that I've had, and also the, even like the small picnics and everything that we had in London, and even online, of course, like I think I really feel blessed and fortunate to have everyone supporting me in that sense. So I do count on your support for even like the next wave, and the next era, I guess, would be definitely something interesting. Like it will still have that essence of Chaidura, but at the same time something different, and which I like it. I like to kind of evolve and always change and be different. So I hope that you guys will continue to support me. And hopefully we'll be able to do bigger venues and bigger shows next year, so we can get a different experience, or upgraded experience.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a really sweet response. So I want to thank you so much for chatting to me today. It's been really fun. It's been a brilliant insight into your music and also yourself, sort of your journey and what your sort of music career has gone through. So yeah, it's been really interesting, really insightful. Do you want to remind us about Solstice in December, like the dates and stuff?
Oh my god.
I wrote that one last time.
I forgot the dates. Okay, wait, I got it. Yeah. Okay, so it's easy way to remember. 12/12. Yeah, it's happening on the 12th of December. It's a Thursday. Doors open at 6 p.m. It's right in central London, so if you're able to drop by, and you kind of know the agenda, I guess, from the question earlier. But hope to see you folks over there. It'll kind of be an intimate one, and Merry Christmas.
Brilliant. So thank you once again for joining me today. Thank you everyone at home for watching. Go and listen to Chaidura. So I'm going to leave your links like Spotify, and I'll leave a link to Solstice in the description. And I'm definitely going to urge everyone to check out Possess and Temple Paradise. and all of your other songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.